the day's top stories and the forewarned forecast. This is News 4 at 4.
Right now, hundreds of search and rescue operations are underway in the aftermath of Tropical Storm Harvey. Harvey made landfall for a second time in a week today, hitting Louisiana. This is a video of a rescuer pulling a 1-month-old baby onto a helicopter from a flooded area in Houston. Wow, take a look at that, Andrew. It's incredible to see all the videos that we've seen of rescues and people coming forward and helping in these situations.
Yeah, it really is a terrible situation. I mean, at this point, I've run out of words to even call it. It's absolutely terrible, and they need all the nation's help in these locations, and this is going to be a cleanup process that I couldn't even tell you how long it's going to take. This is something that we really haven't even seen before. It truly has been unprecedented. Harvey, thankfully on the move. This is at least a step in the right direction. Center of circulation still over western Louisiana. We have that stream of moisture still hooked up out of the Gulf, and we're seeing some heavy bands of rain. But Harvey will continue to track up to the north and east slowly over the next couple of days, but it finally, as I mentioned, is on the move. Expected to weaken to tropical depression status, but at this point, really, we're just looking at the rain, not the wind, as being the primary factor. It's moving north and east towards the Ohio River Valley by this weekend, and we might see some minor impacts here in western New York, especially for the folks down in Pennsylvania this weekend, something we'll watch for. But as the storm continues to move to the north and east, it's going to bring a lot of rain with it. Certainly, it's being cut off by from the Gulf moisture, so that's helpful. But you look at some of these numbers, upwards of 7 inches of rain through the Mississippi Valley to western Tennessee and Kentucky. That is certainly enough to bring a lot of flooding issues, not the same level that we've been seeing in eastern Texas, but still going to be dealing with flooding through the next few days in these areas, again, right along the Mississippi Valley. Here in western New York, couldn't be too much quieter. A lot of sunshine up towards Niagara Falls. A beautiful looking day here. We've seen some fair weather clouds, but no rain around Buffalo. Temperatures outside running mid and upper 70s along the Niagara frontier. A little bit cooler, low 70s and upper 60s in the southern tier. We do have a few showers popping up in northwestern Pennsylvania. Nothing right now here in Buffalo, but we could still see a few spotty showers out ahead of a cold front that we're keeping an eye on right now. And there's that front up across the northern Great Lakes region that's moving our way overnight. Here's how it looks in your hour-by-hour forecast. Chance for a few evening showers, but we should be generally rain-free if you're heading down to the Bison's game, looking pretty much good to go. Again, we'll watch that radar pretty closely. Overnight is when more widespread showers develop, getting into your Thursday morning commute. Not going to be a washout, though, and then showers taper off, and we'll even see a lot of sunshine returning by tomorrow afternoon. So your 4-1 forecast for tonight, we'll see increasing cloud cover. Should be largely dry this evening. Few showers developing, especially after midnight. Coming up in your full 4-1 forecast, we'll talk about the upcoming holiday weekend, what to expect.
Andrew, thank you. Major flooding in Houston is causing major problems for hospitals. Many hospitals had to evacuate or discontinue service. Chris Van Cleve takes a look at how it's affecting patient care.
We were a little nervous we would make it in time. It's nice to have a good thing come out of something so scary.
So scary because as Harvey dumped record rain flooding Houston, Sarah Hunter went into labor.
He has a flair for the dramatic, that's for sure.
But she and her husband Wesley had decided to ride out the storm at a hotel close to the hospital just in case. And sure enough, little Elliot came a week early.
We wouldn't have been able to make it to the hospital if I hadn't.
The hospital picked this hotel as part of their hurricane preparedness plan for a reason. They wanted women who are in high-risk pregnancies, people who could go into labor during the storm, to be at the Marriott because it's just steps away from Children's Hospital, right there. And across the street, there is another emergency room.
Is your house okay?
Dr. Brent Cazzini leads the emergency management team at Texas Children's Hospital, where Elliot and 26 others have been born since Saturday.
Harvey has been that it's been a kind of an ongoing issue, so it's been days on days.
But the staff was ready for that, and the hospital was designed to resist a post-hurricane flood.
You have flood doors in the basement levels that are essentially like submarine doors that shut us off from the rest of the Texas Medical Center underground.
Children's has only seen minor leaks.
I think you can see a tree down there. And that's
but north of downtown, rising floodwaters forced St. Luke's Vintage Hospital to evacuate 29 patients Monday using boats and trucks.
Our biggest concern was the water that surrounded the hospital, accessibility, and we did have some water that got into our main powerhouse where all of our operational power and needed life-sustaining equipment comes from.
About 40 nurses and staff are still stranded inside the hospital.
Their houses have been destroyed and they are not able to return home.
This hospital had to evacuate 3 critical patients, and hospitals across this region made hurricane improvements after Allison in 2001. Certainly there will be lessons to be learned from Harvey as well. But now that the waters are starting to recede, many emergency rooms, this one included, are preparing for a new influx of patients. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Houston.
If you would like to help people in Texas, you can make a $10 donation to the American Red Cross. Just text the word Harvey to 90999. We also have a link with the information on our website. It is WIVB.com. Click on the Founded on 4 section. And News 4 wants to also help those affected by the storm. We're holding a Harvey Relief Telethon tomorrow. Money raised will go to the Red Cross to help thousands of people in Texas. It starts tomorrow at noon and goes until 6:30. All the information is on your screen. We will be live from the telethon all day from the Red Cross on Delaware Avenue. Again, it starts tomorrow at noon. A Western New York man is asking for your help this afternoon. He's looking for his dog, 3-year-old English Bulldog Frank. A Star Point graduate who now lives in San Antonio says he went missing in Houston during Hurricane Harvey this weekend. He says the two were on a boat just outside Houston helping rescue people from the flooding when Frank went overboard. His owner tells us Frank helped save people's lives, and he's hoping we can help save Frank's. We'll post a link on our website, WIVB.com, if you have friends or family in the Houston area who may have seen Frank. Our News 4's Jen Shantz talked with Frank's owner today. She will give us an update on News 4 at 5. We want to bring you breaking news just into the newsroom. New York State Police have made an arrest in a hit and run in Grand Island that left a woman in a coma with serious injuries. State Police out of Clarence say 27-year-old Edward Kubler, III of Tonawanda, is charged with leaving the scene of a serious personal injury incident. Police say he was driving a truck on June 13th on East River Road when he hit Dana Papage, who was walking her dog. Police say he never stopped and left the scene. Papage is continuing to recover at ECMC. Kubler is scheduled to be arraigned at 5 o'clock tonight. We will continue to follow this breaking news, and we will bring you more updates on air and online at WIVB.com. Turning to politics, President Trump is headed to Missouri, hoping to secure his first major legislative victory since being in office. He will speak about tax reform today. The meeting is expected to be a vision for reform more than actual policy details. Democrats and Republicans will meet with the president at the White House next week. Congress hopes to set a deadline for raising the debt ceiling and government funding. They will also have to decide how much money will go to FEMA for hurricane relief. White House and former press secretary Sean Spicer are getting ready to part ways. A White House official says Sean Spicer's last day is tomorrow. He resigned as press secretary in July after President Trump named Anthony Scaramucci as White House communications director. Scaramucci was fired not long after. A neighborhood clinic in Buffalo now has a special section for patients 18 years and younger. The Community Health Center opened a new pediatric unit yesterday. It's on Benwood Avenue. It offers care for kids in the area of Main Street, Amherst Street, and the University District. The funding that helped build the expansion may not be around for very long.
It's important funding that has to be renewed by Congress, which is fundamental to funding the services that are provided here. People's access to health care starts right here in the neighborhood and health care centers like this.
The center has been open since 1999. The ribbon cutting also observes the first National Health Center Week in Buffalo. New at 4, city preservation leaders are fighting for several neighborhoods on the east side to receive historic distinctions. It would let homeowners receive a credit to fix up homes. News 4's Allie Ingersoll tells us about the incentive and why the leaders are having a hard time getting it.
Those pushing for the tax incentive are hopeful that if it passes, soon on the east side, you'll be seeing fewer houses boarded up and more being restored.
Those neighborhoods that have a historic distinction are having a fighting chance of keeping their housing stable.
Stephanie Barber Jeter grew up on the east side of Buffalo, living in the Hamlin Park district, the only part of the east side with historic distinction.
The investment in neighborhoods comes from individuals.
She finds it troublesome driving through nearby neighborhoods, seeing the state of homes which are located in some of the oldest neighborhoods in Buffalo.
People don't want to buy. People who are there don't want to invest. and it's a downward spiral. Really fast it happens.
No one wants to live next to a vacant building, but everyone wants to live next to a restored building.
People living in many other Buffalo neighborhoods like the Elmwood Village and Allentown, which both have historic distinctions, receive a 20% tax credit for fixing up homes.
Those tax credits can really offset the cost of homeowners investing in their homes, and they're a valuable tool.
The preservationists want to make that available for homeowners on the east side too, but due to the high volume of vacant lots, they're hitting roadblocks from the state.
I don't think it's being left behind. I think it got left behind.
Barbara Jeter calls the tax incentives powerful and finds they encourage people to preserve their homes. She's hopeful other East Side neighborhoods will receive the historic distinction, and moving forward, instead of boards, there will be windows and progress.
It says that if you invest in property, in your property, that the government will support you.
We really want to bring that everywhere in the city.
Those who are pushing for it say the sooner it gets done, the better, as it will save more houses with historic distinction. Reporting from the East Side, Allie Ingersoll, News 4.
Next in News 4, we are remembering the life and legacy of Princess Diana 20 years after her tragic death. We're taking a closer look at her iconic outfits and her timeless style.